We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program, and I wish you a very happy new year. Finally, we are now in the year 2025, and as we proceed in the year 2025, we must not forget that we have a lot of responsibilities. Our responsibility in this platform is to give you information and make sure that you have an update on what is going on in Biafra land, more especially things that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. Today, I am going to share with you a very important video. Please pay attention to this video. In all the information that we see here, you are going to see that they have started again a new deceit to distract us from the restoration of independence of Biafra. We must not be distracted. It is either Biafra or nothing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it to us, and he has not changed his mind. If anybody tries to insinuate that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have changed, that is a lie. Watch this video from beginning to the end. You will understand that the enemies will never give up. And those of us who are focusing on the restoration of Biafra, we must not give up. Do not get distracted, regardless what you hear or what you see. Always remember that it is Biafran first. All eyes must be on the rising sun. Every eye must be on the rising sun. Do not allow yourself to be carried away with things that are happening around you. The restoration of independence state of Biafra is one thing that we must focus on. We have the United States of Biafra now. Let's watch.
This person who...
Young persons.
Yes.
Young persons, I blame them.
All right. But beyond that, this situation, this immorality has gotten too much. Those who patronize these birdie part merchants, I don't know what hierarchy in the society they belong to, but I would expect that when security operatives are questioning them, they should track and trace their clients. They should know who those that they have big. I mean, we supposedly can assume whom their clients are, and if you're able to get that, publicize it. Possibly, I think that's a way to curb in this crime. If you know you'll be disgraced, you'll probably be taken to court. Possibly there's going to be a summer execution because a lot of persons have died because of your order for body parts. For what purpose?
You see, most of these people that are involved in this, they have police top hierarchy as friends.
Are you talking of the big wigs?
Yes.
Supposedly
those who
clients?
buy, yes. You know, and before they engage in some of these things, they take the people that kill for them into confidence by swearing to an oath of secrecy that precludes them from even mentioning names, even at the point of death. So it's a whole mix.
A terrible one.
It's a whole mix.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dele Fanimo. Because of time, I'm so sorry. Do you have more to say?
No.
All right. Choma Innocent, thank you for your patience. Let's go to Ebonyi State. I said you serve a particular purpose here. So Choma Innocent is from Ebonyi State, and a beautiful one at that. Choma, one person was killed, beheaded, and other parts of his body severed. If you have seen the image of that body, I'm sorry to make this kind of gory description. They cut off one of the hands, one of the leg, and cut off the head. Now, this young man was at his backyard. I saw in the picture, you know, this fruit, udara. We call it udara in our language. I don't know, agbalumo in Yoruba. Yes, you could see that this man went to his backyard to pluck agbalumo. Now, if you know the village setting, normally it is in the evening, people go, whatever they get in their farm, they go to the market to sell. Now, as we can describe it, this deceased individual is Godwin Order, or was Godwin Order, because he's late now. He was at the back of his compound in Akparata village, coming barely 1 week after the governor, Francis Umufo, granted amnesty to 158 detainees arrested at the wake of the 4-year-old intra-communal war. Why would people who belong to the same states be macheteing themselves in such a brutal manner? And they want to be recognized as one entity. They want to be recognized as a nation. When within yourselves, you have intra-communal war. You purchase arms to go to war with your fellow statesman, your fellow tribesman. How do you now fight off the external factors?
Esther, I've been sitting here, through the analysis segment with Mr. Dele Fanimo and dreading when you ask me this question.
Why are you dreading?
What happened in Ebonyi State it's quite annoying, honestly. There are so many other words I could use to describe it, but it's very annoying. But it's not shocking, right? It's not shocking at all, because whenever you hear news of violent or quarrels in Ebonyi State, it's always between Eza and Efiom people.
Can you explain exactly what's the difference between Eza and Efiom?
Here is the thing. Ebonyi State has so many dialects that even people in the state, many of them do not understand each other. I'm from Ebonyi State, and the language I speak is so different from what others speak. There are certain intonations, certain words which are the same, but it's very difficult to understand each other. And from my experience, whenever I go to the village, go to the capital, there's a way people talk to you when they realize you are from some places, from certain areas, certain
within
Ebonyi, that you speak certain languages. Now, what is the history of the Iza people and the Efiom people? The Izas, they were predominantly warriors, right? They were initially hunters, and of course, they were farmers planting, but the law has it that the land was not really fertile for them. So they focused more on hunting.
Okay.
And then, how this thing happens. Maybe there weren't so many animals in the forest for them anymore. They became mercenaries, the ones you could pay to fight for you when different other people were trying to encroach on your land. So they commercialized this warfare. You pay them with land, so they come to you. Because I've asked this question to my parents before. Why is it that the Eza people, it seems that they are not only in one location in Ebonyi State? And I'm not just talking about urbanization, whereby people move to the city.
Well,
I'm talking about when you go into the villages. These as they have settlements within villages that speak other languages. That's not Eza, and they are largely accepted. But they were defeated by the British in 1905, according to the research that I carried out. So after that 1905, they realized that, look, we can no longer be warriors. I know there was relative peace.
Supposedly. They needed to find another lifestyle to survive.
And those who were hosting them up until 2021, when there was crisis.
All right.
And now what caused this crisis? I'm going to read this out to you, Esther.
All right.
Now, the crisis began on January 22, 2021, when a disagreement over the leadership of the Efiom Motor Park in Ebonyi State sparked a violent confrontation between Eza and Efiom communities. The conflict rapidly spread, engulfing the entire area and resulting in the loss of numerous lives. Eyewitnesses reported that the clash started when a group of Efiom youths, allegedly backed by their leaders, attempted to take over the park from the Eza people who had been managing it. The situation quickly deteriorated, with both sides engaging in fierce fighting, destruction of properties, and displacement of innocent people. My question, and when I look at it, is this: why is it that it's only Eza Efiom? Since Ezas are in other local governments, they're in other areas, they have other host communities. Why are the Ezas and Efiom always fighting? Former Governor Dave Umahi, who is now the Minister of Works, waded into the situation then, and I'm going to say I'm really not happy with what Governor Francis Winfrey did by releasing those people who were involved in this.
He said he wanted peace.
Yes,
he said he wanted there to be peace.
I watched a particular video, I think it was late last year or early this year, when the women of the communities came together to talk about, our husbands and sons are in the police station, please release them for us. But if your husbands and sons were guilty of killing people, if they were guilty of violent acts, why should they not be prosecuted? Now, I do know that when a lot of people are arrested like that after these kind of situations happen, there will be many of them that were not directly involved. That is where investigation comes in. You find out the masterminds, you find out the people, because the government has been continually trying to broker peace, and now one person's family member is dead. You cut off the head just like that. We cannot have people who have such evil intent working amongst us. That will not be human being again.
How do you even differentiate these people? Because right now they do not even know those who perpetrated this heinous act. A young boy at the back of his home. They severed his body parts like that. This is the person that speaks your own language. This is the person that you share a community with, and you want to be respected, regarded, and seen as one. If you're having intra-communal issues, how do you now represent as one? And you don't expect foreign entities or other sectors that are not part of you or do not recognize you or actually want to submerge you, make you become a minority, how do you want them to regard you?
Esther, it's very easy to sow discord where there is already
Discord.
disagreement. You understand? To an average, there are certain people who believe that, oh, I'm from Ebonyi and everybody is my brother. Meanwhile, there are others, people who live there, who grew up there, who will tell you, if you're from Izzi, you're not my brother. If you're Ivo, you're not my brother. If you're Okposi, you're not my brother.
What could cause this kind of deep-seated hatred? Chuma, do you know what it takes for you to go to your brother and murder him in such a manner?
You know one thing.
Over what? This particular recent
people.
situation right now has no beginning, has no middle, has no end. What exactly is the crisis
I
that
think they wanted to resurrect?
exactly?
the crisis,
Because
the
right
situation.
now the governor had tried to impose peace and resolve whatever happened. The last fight that occurred, or the last killing that occurred, the governor actually said that it was not Fulani headsmen, that is actually unscrupulous elements. That is
one
a
that happened
communal
in
clash.
Amegun
That
Kaleha
was
community.
basically, that is what he said.
Have you ever heard about Amegun Kaleha
That
being
is
in the
what-
news for such issues?
That is what the governor of the state said.
I'm not going to
He
take that.
declined. He refused to place it on any Fulani headsman. He said it's not
So
them.
you're blaming
He
the
said
people
if-
of the state. When they said that they had written to the state government and to the police when IPOB people killed the headsmen's cattle because they knew that something like this will happen. Knowing fully well that these people, you don't touch their cattle, they regard it just the way they regard human
But you heard
life.
what the governor said.
I'm not going to take
The
that.
governor
I would
refused.
rather
The governor
focus more.
refused to blame any external factor, but actually blamed it on them.
That sounds like weakness. That sounds like weakness. If you do not want to acknowledge the root of a problem, you will not be able to find solutions to
So
it.
if a community of people refuse to recognize themselves as one, they feel like they were forced to cohabitate. How do you resolve issues between people who have deep-seated differences, refuse to recognize what you call a common ground, and have peace? And in the same breath, you're having yourself fighting for a declaration to be recognized as your own country.
I'm not from Efiom and I'm not from Eza either, but I think that the Efiom people don't want the Eza people in their land, on their land anymore.
After
They
how
don't-
many
after
years,
how
on
many
centuries?
years? After how many years? You know, I was having a phone call and you listened in on that phone call when the lady said she's Eza, she's married to an Efiom person.
A couple of them
Now,
have intermarried.
That's the thing. You cannot live together for this long without intermarrying. She said Efiom people called Eza people to come and fight for them when other people tried to fight the people of Efiom, right? Then they paid those Eza people with land. The Eza people settled there. The people who did this transaction, they become ancestors. They're no longer here. Then their children's children now want to chase the Eza people out. Where do you want to chase them to after their forefathers have helped you win a war? If Efiom people chase Eza people out, Ivo people chase Eza, Izzi, Okposi and others, Abakali chase Eza out, where do you want them to go? Because if they have lived there for up to a century, it has become their ancestral land. The truth is that there will be no peace until whatever boundary dispute, whatever land they're fighting over, let the government just take over it and build police station or military barracks.
That's your
there.
recommendation.
That is my recommendation. If it is one piece of land that is causing problem, the government should seize that particular land, create a boundary between the Eza and Efiom community so that we don't keep having this. Women are losing their children. Women are
Exactly.
losing their husbands.
It
Their
is really
sons.
sad. That image was really gory.
People cannot
And
travel to the village.
It's not funny
because
anymore.
you don't know what will happen tomorrow.
It's
If
not
your son
funny
is
anymore.
doing well in the diaspora or in the city and then he comes home and someone who hates you comes and kills him, what are you going to do? It's very, very sad. I'm not happy about it. I hate it whenever anything bad happens, but certainly when it happens in Ebonyi State. When that one of Amegun Kaleha happened and I was making calls and we're hearing, oh, it was headsmen, I wondered, why can the governor not protect his people? Or for him to turn around and start telling us what I consider to
different
be
thing.
balderdash. But that aside, but for this Efiom and Eza crisis, honestly, I do not want to take sides. I do
Alright.
not want to take sides.
Alright.
But I think that if peace will be brokered,
Yes.
if it is one piece of land that is the problem, government
should take it so
Government
that they will
Francis,
stop
if you
all
help
this
me
needless
collect
killings.
the land.
All right.
There should be a demarcation between the people of Eza. This is where your boundary stops. You cannot pass here. But the truth is that we have intermarried so much. We have known ourselves so
Do you
much
think the
better
governor
than
is
now.
confused? Do you think he's weak? His disposition seems like it. So what firm hand do you think he needs to employ? You can't have this continue in your state. Before you know, it becomes a pattern.
A lot
And you
of
will seem
people-
helpless to actually work on that.
A lot of people consider Ebonyi a backwater state, even amongst the Igbos, right?
Even amongst the Igbos.
Even amongst the
You
Igbos.
think so?
Yes.
Simon Ekpa is from Ebonyi State. And he has a
be
huge
that?
support base.
Please,
I'm just saying.
if you want to
Simon
talk
Ekpa
about
is from, no, I'm
people
just saying
from Ebonyi, we
Simon
have
Ekpa is from,
celebrities.
wait,
We
now
have
he's a
better
celebrity.
people.
He's a huge.
He's not a celebrity.
He's a star.
You don't want
from
me to
that
say
wait
what
now.
I
He's a star from that
feel.
region. So he has a lot of supporters from other southeastern regions outside Ebonyi State. So you cannot say people say Ebonyi State as a backwater state.
Simon Ekpa is not a star to me.
Okay, I'm just saying because of the support base he has.
He is. Esther. Well, we'll keep some part of the conversation off air.
All right.
But he's not a star to me.
All right.
When we want to talk about people from Ebonyi State who are making waves and doing good things, there are certain names we'll call, and Simon Ekpa is definitely
Not it.
not it. He will not make number 5,000 on the list. For Governor Francis Nwifuru,
Okay.
I expect him to be much more proactive. You heard him
Alright.
the other day talking about how, they invited the military and even gave them cash and car gifts. What are
Okay.
you talking about? You know, and then I was talking with Mr. Chukuma Akori, and he said you can't categorize that as a bribe. The governor has to do what he has to do. If it's about giving them car and cash gifts, if na Rolls Royce, I beg, help me give them so that the issue can be solved. Permit me to talk to my people in my language. Ndebany, ndewun, ekwan buchom innocent. Guburu onye eza, go na anumam. Guburu onye efiom, go na anumam. Ikwe na-eme na efiom na eza, ọdụnụmma. Ọdụnụmma sa anyị na-egbu onwe anyị. Ọdụnụmma mmadụ ma onye ibe ma ọ na-eche go ojiji mee ihwe adụmma. Sa anyị nọdụ buru n'udo n'ihwe adụmma. That's all.
Hey, this Igbo way you speak, eh?
It's shock you, Abi.
Well, you cannot leave this
Igbo.
place without translating what you are
No, all I did was call for peace. If you're
Exactly,
from
that's
Ezza,
what
if
she
you're from
did.
Effium, talk to your people back home
This
and
is
tell
wrong.
them to live in peace, because already certain people feel like those Igbos are marginalized. We'll not come within ourselves and still marginalize
I'm having
ourselves.
this kind of situation.
It's not supposed
is
to be
wrong.
happening at
Very,
all.
very wrong. Chama Innocent, I applaud you.
Thank you
you
so
much for giving us that in-depth and that insight in the situation in Ebonyi State.
I'm
and I
seeing
do
this
hope.
activism for the first time.
Well, that's how we are right here. on Voice of the
Mr.
People.
Let me go kill my grandma from here. Grandma fish out. I'm begging. Please let's live in peace.
So
Okay.
that's basically the analysis segment, is to educate ourselves, provide insights into some of the stories that we read here. So it doesn't seem like we spoke English and we're not able to break it down to the better comprehension of our able learned listeners. Mr. Dele Fanimo, thank you so much for being here on the World News at
Always
6.
my
I sincerely
pleasure.
do appreciate you. Choma, as usual, we're working together tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap up the World News at 6. Once again, here are the top stories. Pressure mounts on Rwanda's M23 sees Bukavu. United Nations discloses children executed by M23 in DR Congo's Bukavu. Niger rejects ECOWAS passport for Nigerian travelers, tightens immigration rules. One killed, beheaded by suspected warriors in Ebonyi State. Amoteco arrests 114 northern invaders in Ondo, sends them back to north. Sanwo-Olu under pressure to intervene as Lagos House of Assembly crisis escalates. That's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachiku. Do have yourself an amazing evening. Bye for now.
ibẹ̀ láti ṣá àwọn oh yeah, ask them like that. Yeah. Follow them. These are some of the things they use in collecting Okada. Once they heat, gbogbo ará ìgboro àti àwọn èèyàn wa tó ń ṣoko. I want to place it on record that a lot of weapons were recovered from them, locally made weapons, with which they perpetrate different forms of evil. What they do is to stay in the forest and come out, attack and go back and run back deep into the forest. Over 100 of these people were loaded with trucks, 2 trucks, and they were about to be distributed along the forest belt of the state, starting from Ore End, Ofosu, Ore End. We have profiled them, and we found out that all of them, with the exception of only 3, do not even know where they were being taken to. They don't have an idea. Their masters just sent them into the forest to await further directives. The governor has therefore directed that they be sent back to where they came from Yes, there's freedom of movement in Nigeria, but you must have a purpose.
I would really appreciate the governor for saying they should take them back. Or it's a criminal thing to come without any and enter forest to cause problem here. We appreciate the governor, we appreciate Amoteko too for taking care of them and going back where they come from.
Asịkwana Chineke na enweghị ihe ọ ga-eme maka ọ ga-eme gị nwụọ n'ike. Hope asịkwana na ọ dịghị ihe Chineke ga-eme ọ ga-emekwa ya ịfụnanya. Isi eluigwe na enwere ihe ọ ga-eme maka Biafra ọ ga-eme ya ịfụ ya n'anya. Ịghọtago? Ezi aka ọ dị. Ịghọtago? Ọnwụọ pie. Ogbugo ọtụtụ ọtụtụ anwụgo.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what you think about the video I just played, go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go to the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity and equity. We move. Ebonyi.